623 million. Slower than forecast 0.693 million. The change month over month.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, traders. Happy Wednesday.
Forecast minus 6.
We got a nice, pretty close to VWAP bounce there on NQ. And now we could potentially get a return to value here. It's not playing off to the tick, but the areas have been holding. I'm not shorting here only because of the nature of the market, but I did long at the bottom there near VWAP. Home sales and Powell testimony in 1 minute. Thank you, Tony. I'm not crazy about shorting here, guys. Really, it could very well work out nicely, but I'm kind of in longs only mode based on this longer, higher time frame charts here. We're well above. I mean, look at the last 3 days. On the daily here, we're well above weekly and monthly VWAP band, straight up. This is kind of, dangerous territory to try and be shorting. So I did have some good trades in gold. Gold's actually getting back down to my level again. Long down here, shorted up here. Higher time frame stuff. We had a short on the break of yesterday's IB high. Got a nice move there. That is this level right here. Short. And then I front ran this level right here. We had pretty close to a VWAP bounce. We were aggressively selling off down here for a quick scalp. I didn't hold it all the way to upper band, but I kind of front ran VWAP a little bit because ES already hit VWAP and kind of trapped underneath it. So I ran early on NQ. So I've been in the habit of taking trades too early after the open. It's worked out for the most part, but generally I don't want to get too comfortable doing that, guys. The better setups come later. The better price action that's cleaner has been coming later. You can get some banger trades here in the morning, but man, if you're wrong, you get punched in the teeth. Nice, Corey. It was a nice VWAP bounce. Now I probably won't take it again.
US new home sales May 2025.
The second test, especially in such a short period of time, is generally not a high probability setup. So I will pass on the second VWAP bounce. So the problem with longing so early, after the open, that was the first 20 minutes, that volume can melt through levels, unfortunately. And, the rotations have been so short, I can understand why you wanted to go long there. We haven't really gotten many pullbacks, but if we were going to get one, it was likely going to be in that first 30 minutes. And, we can still get a healthy pullback, guys. We've been on a tear for the last 3 days. This thing's going to pull back eventually, right? Right? Crazy. Crazy market, guys. But we trade the market we're in, not the market we want to be in. If you're long price discovery traders, you're probably loving this market. I find it very difficult to buy this stuff. It's just mentally, it's very difficult for me. I do it. I don't like it, but I do it. Based on the rules.
Trump says additional money should be spent on military hardware. NATO.
Okay, back down we go. I'd like to welcome everybody to the stream. Anybody who's new. For those of you out on YouTube, welcome. I got to share this on the Discord. Make sure everybody can get in. We trade the VWAP Wave system here. We have a lot of new traders in the room. Glad that you've made it. We spend a lot of the beginning 30 minutes of this stream kind of doing some reconnaissance, collecting data. Try not to be too itchy on the trades unless they really set up nicely. Welcome. Glad to have you guys. If you haven't been through the course yet, everybody in this room has a premium membership, or at least the trial. I encourage you to go through the 8-module course if you haven't yet, and the YouTube videos take a deeper dive on those individual subjects. So if you have some time, especially if you're in the free trial, make sure to take advantage of those resources. A lot of information in there. Gold still didn't hit my level, man. Look at that. I even have an alert set up here at 25. It went right to it. Didn't even trigger my alert to go long. Looking for a long down here in this gray box. I front ran it once. I'm not going to front run it again. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with front running, what I mean by that, that means if I'm interested in a level, I'll start taking a smaller position early because there's a lot of traders watching that level. And due to all the buying and passive orders, it might not quite get to it. And that's exactly what happened here. This is the level I was watching, and traders front run it so they can get filled. Also, you might wonder why your profit target doesn't get hit at certain levels. That's another reason traders front running your profit target level. So something you need to be cautious of. People want to get filled. Warren, happy journey. Glad to have you here studying the videos. Great place to start. I put a lot of time into those videos for you guys so you can get a lot of information. And then I'm always available in the Discord and on stream for questions. Gold looks like it might be having a bit of a return to value here. This 37 mark, actually, yeah, is point of control from yesterday. 38 on gold. So let's watch this area here. If you're in a long, this would be a good profit target area, 38 to 39. I'm probably not going to buy here. A little late in the rotation for me. But I could look for a short here at VWAP and this point of control from yesterday, which is also pretty close to value area low on the session. Okay, let's see what setups we get. Let's see what we get. Anybody take any trades this morning? Morning, Tony. Look how gold rejected at IB mid there. And Q still kind of building this value area now. Held point of control. So that's bullish. We're going to have to get above these upper band and 540s. If we lose point of control, we can go down to 470, which is right around VWAP. And then we can go to yesterday's point of control, which is like 422. So that will be pretty close to the overnight lower range. So let's see what happens up here. So we'll map out the low volume node area, which is right around here. Coincidentally, it's at the extension and VWAP. So if we break below that, we could trigger some shorts down to 428, so lower band. But, we could reject here, and then we could reclaim. So that's a tough trade. It's kind of like a breakout trade in a lot of ways. The return to value is working out so far. Nice, Bob. That was a nice trade, wasn't it? Yeah, I called that out in main chat for anybody who is paying attention. Wait, I might have called out the long. Did I call it the short too? I called out the long right around here. I was watching this level. I knew I was taking shorts. I didn't know if I gave out any specific short calls. Hey, Fritz. Good morning. All right. So that level is what? 470 to 480. Let's mark it out on this chart too. Might be worth a little buy there again for a scalp. Looks like we might try it. I'm up 763 across these 5 top step accounts.
So Fed's power, as I mentioned, just repeating the opening remarks to the Senate panel, same as the text that was released yesterday.
Whoa. Right to VWAP there. Tough to get filled. I'm not buying that. I would like to see a sub VWAP trap maybe. Oh man. If they rip out of this, it could be a good long though. You know, they normally do this before they bring things higher, right? The failed breakdown. So let's be patient. Yeah, it is. So it has this, you know, we have this lower, we're at the bottom of the distribution here, along with VWAP. I'm wondering if I should scale in with MNQ instead of NQ, because we could get a big flush here. So I'm going to be patient. You know what? You had some limit orders out, JJ. That was smart. Probably a good little scalp for you there. A 10-point scalp, 40 tick scalp in seconds.
Trump on the Iran conflict end says, I dealt with both were exhausted. Says both are satisfied to go home and get out. Trump says Iran, Israel could start again. Guess it could start soon.
Oh, is it? Saying financial juice is a little delayed.
The Trump administration urges the appeals court to back tariff power. The ruling was put on hold for appeal, with the Senate set for July 31st. So again, just to clarify, Trump did say conflict between Israel and Iran could start again, perhaps soon.
All right, I might add into this one a little bit.
Trump says Iran has great oil.
Boom. Nice little scalp there for 250 bucks. Caught about, I don't know, 15 points. 60 ticks. Quickness.
If Iran gets back in the nuclear business, we'll be there. says we're not relying on Israeli intelligence.
The problem is with that, JJ, is ES is at lower band. So ES would need to break lower band to pull this thing lower. We're kind of still in my area of interest right here, but if we break below it, we can go down to 20, which is what, that would be lower band, close to lower band. We will wait. This is kind of my interest level here, right? And we're starting to break below it, which is going to be bearish, which can trigger the sell-off down to 35.
Secretary Lutnick says the big beautiful bill is non-negotiable for national security. And Trump
But if we
says
hold
we're
and
not
break
giving
above,
up
that could be
Iran.
bullish. Back up to 500 and beyond.
Says Iran needs money to put the country back into shape. Trump again not giving up pressure on the country.
Tough to trade right here. I already took the trade that I wanted to take. So I'm going to see if it tips its hand next.
Trump says we're not taking over the oil.
Only on today's
Trump says
session
wants to buy oil, can buy from us.
can I see an obvious low volume node. So that could be the, do we want to buy? So it'd be kind of a return to value on the volume
I
profile.
see some strength in
We're still
WTI
struggling with it.
there, as Trump did mention the sanctions on Iran.
Or price discovery continuation to the downside. Min. Oh, there was a big wick there, wasn't there?
Trump on Putin says he'd like to settle. Trump adds that it's possible that Putin has territorial ambitions beyond Ukraine.
Not crazy with that. I'll pick up one more right here. Ah,
Commerce Secretary Lutnick says the tax bill creates a single national standard for AI.
that was the bull trap so far. Let's see if it holds up. Could be the back test of
Trump says
VWAP.
consider Putin a misguided person.
Well, I got my stop in. I'm prepared to give up my profits on this trade. If it holds, great. If not, I got caught off sides, which happens. In this market, I'd rather be long than short, I can tell you that.
Fitz Powers is going to put out something on SLR for comments today. In 10 minutes time now at the bottom of the hour, see the release of the weekly EIA oil inventories. Crude oil inventories forecast is a draw of 1.1 million on the prior draw of 11.473 million. The range sees a build of 1.4 million to a draw of 6.517 million expected. Trump says I don't think an agreement with Iran is necessary.
Take off a little
Spot
size
market,
there.
see the EIA gas inventories,
Lower my exposure.
5 million on the prior build of 0.209 million. Distillates inventories forecast is a build of 1 million on the prior build of 0.514 million, and crude Cushing inventories prior was a draw of 0.995 million. Let's Power says, I would not recommend we switch to scarce reserves. Trump says, I may sign an Iran agreement next week. I don't think an agreement with Iran is necessary. We'll ask for what we saw before with Iran.
My price target is right below point of control here.
Trump says the US will meet with Iran.
Can't seem to have any upside continuation. Just take my profits, run as little as they are. Let's see if it holds. Move my stop up a little here. Yeah, right?
Speaking to Putin.
I'll take a small loser on this if it stops me out at this point. Only 150 bucks. I was able to tighten that up a little bit. Take off size at break even, hold one. I mean, this could be the best place to go long all day, for all I know. Let's see. Or they flush everybody out. I like how it keeps getting bought up, but all right, stop me out. Congrats anybody who took that short. Got my money back. Just bought that dip. That looked like the short trap.
Powell says changes to forecasts partly reflect trade policy effects.
A lot of fake outs in this market, I'll tell you what. Fake out. Now, okay, so now we're in the VWAP trap, scalp mode. We've crossed VWAP 10 times already in the last 5 minutes. So I'm gonna wait for some clearer price action at this point. Be right back.
In 5 minutes time now, at the bottom of the hour, we see the release of the weekly EIA inventories numbers. Crude oil inventories, the forecast is a draw of 1.1 million on the prior draw of 11.473 million. The range sees a build of 1.4 million to a draw of 6.517 million expected. Gasoline inventories, forecast is a build of 0.5 million on the prior build of 0.209 million. Distillate inventories, forecast is a build of 1 million on the prior build of 0.514 million, and crude Cushing inventories, the prior read was a draw of 0.995 million. So as a reminder, last night we did see the release of the private API stock change numbers. Crude oil stock change came in at a draw of 4.277 million and the expected draw of just 0.6 million.
So that was really hard to trade. You know, multiple fake outs, both directions. Based on the open, you know, we're still in a kind of a bearish trend too. Morning, Tien. Good morning, Adi. John, good morning from Thailand, Vietnam.
Says we don't consider
We are international, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody else trading out there? That was this has been tough. Let's see what gold's doing. Gold almost went to, again, front run my area there. Do we get the next leg down in gold is the question. I don't know. It's kind of holding yesterday's IB high. So it could be a long. I don't know. I don't like it. We'll wait on that. ES has reclaimed value on the profile. So that could be a good opportunity to go long again.
Powell says that fiscal policy can add to inflation, but I don't comment.
Just head fake after head fake.
Trump says negotiating with Spain on the trade deal will make them pay twice as much. This is following Trump criticizing Spain over their NATO spending. Again, says negotiating with Spain on the trade deal will make them pay twice as much. 1 minute remaining for the EIA inventories data. Ollie with the crude oil inventories.
Crude oil inventories coming out here shortly.
Ten seconds. Fed's Powell says I agree that adjusting SLR would free up capital for banks.
You got Powell testifying.
Crude oil, a draw of 5.836 million, a draw of 5.836 million, lower than the expected draw of 1.1 million. Gasoline inventories, a draw of 2.075 million, a draw of 2.
All right, I hit $1,200 across my 5 accounts here, guys. I'm probably going to shut this one down for the day. I'm at 5,000 in profits across these 5 accounts. Took that long there off of VWAP. VWAP scalping between point of control And VWAP, that's out of the advanced playbook in the course.
Did see some strength in WTI crude following the larger than expected storage draw in crude oil inventories.
Nice long.
Powell says, I'm pretty confident that we'll move on Basel III in the near future.
Okay, locked out a top step. Now I'm going to go over to top one. Trading my 150K instant funded account.
We'll move on Basel III and SLR in the near future.
Well, I have to get like 600 bucks in profit on this thing. So today. So I'm actually going to do my settings, risk settings. Let's do, actually I do. Yeah, let's see what we get. See if I can nail my profit target on this one. 600 bucks. 600 bucks. I don't see a new point of control on ES quite yet. On NinjaTrader. Problem with NinjaTrader is that the volume data isn't as reliable as TradingView, Trade8, or NinjaTrader, Sierra Charts. They tend to have better volume data. All right, so I'm going to wait for the next good setup. Gold, almost up to that level, that interesting level to possibly short. I don't know. Who feels like short in gold? Anybody in the mood to short gold? Might be. I'll take one. I have room to add up to here. Gold is tough. I agree. I think all of this is tough. And I've been doing this a long time and I make money doing it. I still think it's tough. This shit is not easy. I don't care who you are. I don't think it ever gets easier. We just become better traders. You know, this shit is not easy. So I'm going to leave myself a little room to add around 38. If we get up there, I have one contract at 35 and a half. I have a pretty huge drawdown in this top one account, like $11,000 of drawdown. So if we get up here, I'll probably take another 2.
Apple are poised to offer App Store changes to dodge more EU fines. The EU gave the company a June 26th ultimatum to comply with the DMA rules, and Apple moves to follow the EU's €500 million penalty in April over the digital law.
This is yesterday's point of control and VWAP. That's why I like it. Yeah, currently short gold. Only 2 contracts. Nothing too exciting. I have a lot of room on this sucker, so.
Trump says I'll negotiate directly with Spain.
Prop firms like Top Step, 8. Starting to work a little bit. Let's see if we can get some continuation to the downside.
Trump says that Spain is going to pay.
I'll take one off here. Break even. Pretty much a free trade now. See if we get some continuation. I'll probably take it to this low volume node right here. Bottom of this range. I trade level to level. So the next obvious level I think we'll go to. I might even take it here because we are, I don't know, we'll see. Not really. I just kind of front ran VWAP a little bit. So VWAP Bounce short, front ran it because we're just kind of stalled here. And then also we have yesterday's point of control. So that would be, a higher time frame fade. So a little bit of it. A little bit of advanced play combined with a traditional play. So I have IB high on gold at 43.
Functioning well.
I don't use the IB is 8:20 a.m. This is when the gold futures market regular trading hours opens. It's a pretty sniper entry, I'll tell you what.
When asked about the recent weakness in the dollar, says the markets have been digesting an unusually challenging set of circumstances.
Kind of holding at this value area low, which is annoying. But stops at break even. We'll just let it play itself out. JP, anyone's having issues with tone? What do you mean by tone? What do you mean by tone? Is that what he meant? Bullish tone? Come on, gold. Give it up. I think technology in general can be frustrating sometimes. Remember how I said that VWAP might have been the best place to go long all day? That could very well play out, guys. You can hold that stuff. If you can hold it. That's the hard part.
Says I'm open to the possibility that tariffs translating to inflation will be more or less than we think. See a bit of strength in the S&P 500 following that power comment there. And Trump's NATO press conference has now ended.
Well, the markets are ripping and I'm holding gold short, so I like that. See if this thing continues to pay. Oh, good. Right up to upper band on NQ. Quick 10.40 tick sell off there. ES is much stronger. ES is almost at highs. It sometimes JJ NQ leads ES. Sometimes ES leads NQ. They actually switch. You kind of have to watch them together and kind of get a feel for what's happening. Sorry, Tony. Part of the process, you know? I feel like if gold breaks this level, we're going down to 32. So come on. Well, that was a huge bull trap, wasn't it? Nice, Bob. And I'm stuck in this gold. Well, I'm not stuck in it. I can hold it and I can trade something else too. Let it do its thing. It's already a break-even trade at worst. That was a hell of a sell-off. It's gonna stop me out, isn't it? I can watch it down here. I might just take my profits on this, guys. If I get a chance to, it might be over. The chance to take profits may be gone. It looks like it's about to stop me out. That's it. Shite. Go long in NQ. Looks like it's doing that grindy channel thing again. Maybe not. Gold coming up to that area now. Let's see what it does here. I'll take another shot at this thing. Because now it's really at the area I like. All right. Well, let's see if it melts right through my level, huh? Bit of a wick. A little bit of a nice position here. Got 4. Take off 1 there. See if we get the bigger sell off. Locked in $200. Actually, you know what? That was a great trade. I'll take all of it. So we kind of rejected at that level. Kind of blasted through it a little bit, but I averaged in a little bit based on conviction of that level. And it retraced nicely all the way back down. So I took a second stab at the same trade because it didn't really quite get there the first time. Piyush asked, do I use a DVA of anchor VWAP from important swing high or low, or use a VWAP? I use both. So you'll see that on this chart. This is my volume climax that I've been using. So this is from the open, this anchored VWAP. Nice level there. Value area high, upper band on the session, upper band on the regular trading hours. Great short. Missed that. I'm tinkering around with gold. Sure seems like lower on NQ, doesn't it? 500 again on NQ. This is decent scalping conditions. A lot of overlap. Nice range in the candles, especially the 5-minute candles. I just hit my profit target in my took a little short off there. Point of control, back to our point of control, VWAP scalps, advanced playbook. Stop me out. It's hard to say, Bob. I would say, to be honest, I think the session VWAP is probably more powerful than the regular trading hours VWAP. So when I say session is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have regular trading hours. RTH, that's 9:30 a.m. If I had to pick one as one being stronger, I would say the session. Now, the RTH is also important. It's nice to have, and we definitely should be looking at it. You know, that's a tool we have available to us. We don't have it. It's not as nice on this. All right, so I'll move over to my cash account. Profit target's hit in top step. Profit target hit on. So I only have another $1,000 to go in this account, guys. I'll hit it by Friday probably. Another $550 tomorrow and Friday, and I'll get my next payout on this top one account. That'll be top one payout number 2 in this same account. So that's cool. All right, over to cash we go. Hey, Ali, welcome. Welcome to the YouTube. So, you know, this is good scalping area, guys. You know, we've been kind of holding this area, fading the value area extremes. Now it's going to break sooner or later, and you don't want to get caught offside, so manage your risk. But it seems to keep bouncing off VWAP and this gray box I have marked, and then, you know, above that. Looks like I took my profits at a nice spot on gold. Oh, maybe I went a little lower, but still. Nice short location for a good, you know, maybe 20 ticks. Oh. All right, let me get cash account going here. It was fun trading gold today. I did well on gold today. I should trade gold more. I don't know why I don't. I get lost in the sauce on NQ. NQ is my baby. NQ addict, as they say. Get my NQ addict t-shirt. All right, I wouldn't buy this quite yet. Maybe 440 for a scalp long. I don't know. It could actually have a much bigger rotation here. So I'm going to sit tight on this, guys. I'll be right back.
Powell says in the last couple of years, the stablecoin industry has matured and become more mainstream.
Getting close. The delta is looking super bearish, though. Where's delta? Very bearish. A lot more sellers than buyers. Hey, Ali. Yep. So if you join the free day trial, there's an entire video course and modules. And there's a bunch of YouTube videos too. So there's a ton of stuff in the premium. Plus we run live coaching and Q&As twice a week. If you can't make them, they're recorded. And those are all recorded. You can go back, watch those too. A lot of the same questions everybody has. So there's a ton of content in the premium. I mean, there's a ton of content in the free Discord. And then there's even more in the premium. So, and you can access the entire course for free in the free trial. So, you know, you can actually join for 7 days, go through the entire course and cancel your trial and not pay a thing. Obviously, I want people to stick around, but, you know, that's based on everybody's individual preference. This works for me. I'm not interested in trying to hard sell anybody or take anybody's money. I want everybody to feel like they get a ton of value, so I never have to deal with refunds or this and blah, blah. I'm good. Don't want to deal with it. Get it yet. Daniel, I don't hate the 2000 tick chart, if that's what you like to use. Bob, my cash broker is Trade-of-8. I have a lifetime membership with Trade-of-8, which also is NinjaTrader. They're both interchangeable, and I think they're fantastic. When I withdraw money, Bob, I have sometimes had the money in my account the same day. So if I make like 800 bucks in the morning and I transfer only my profits out, it'll be in my bank account that same evening. So that's pretty spectacular. Not a lot of brokers do that. Robinhood, I think, does. If it's a small enough withdrawal, they'll do it. But you can only do one like every couple days. All right, we're closing in on this 43, which is I find interesting, and that'll probably be like a double band second deviation on ES. It could also melt right through this level. So be prepared. It's very heavy. So, it's not the best trade. Um,
Al says we're looking at.
so if I hit this $3,500 payout on top one Friday, that'll put my prop firm payouts for June alone at $19,000. $12,000 from Top Step, $7,000 from Top One. That's freaking awesome for 1 month of trading prop firms. It's interesting, Bob. Was that with a cash account or was that with like Apex or something? Oh, you closed your account. That's weird. Were you using ATMs like bracket orders and stuff? Sometimes that screws things up. It's tempting to buy front run this level, but I'm going to wait. It was tempting. I would have been right. I hate it when I don't give in to my temptations and then I would have been right. I hate that. Trying to be prudent.
Al then asked about the risks of stagflation and says not seeing that now.
That's crazy, Bob.
Stagflation is not the base case, but the Fed is.
Good thing to do is watch your orders in TradingView. Have that window up. You can see all the executions and any open orders at the same time.
Stagflation, it would put the Fed in a hard place.
So we're at value area high on yesterday's profile almost. 435. We got another 30 points from here. On the higher time frame, it's really hard, I think. Just short. But it's really a huge, powerful trend so far. This is still very early in the rotation. So we'll see. The rotations have been generally mild and small.
AMD shares hit over a 7-month high of around 2.5%.
Kind of right at that level. Does it melt through it, or we get a little bit of a bounce here? Look at that sniper entry. Whew. Bottom, take that, baby. Beautiful.
Again, AMD shares rising here as we have seen some analyst upgrades to AMD's shares here.
Creamy Sausage says, what's going on here? Are you showing your edge, or is it a standard scam-a-lam-a ding-dong? Yeah, it's a scam-a-lam-a ding-dong. You should probably leave. You don't want what we have here, sir. I have very little to no patience for jerks. If you want to be an a-hole, go be an a-hole somewhere else. Just get blocked. That was the spot, man. So far, so good. When it's selling off right there like that, I love the kind of rubber band bounce that we got there. You know, I only got 140, 50 bucks out of it. Ali, where are you located, Ali? I recommend Top One, Top Step, Tradeify. They're all good. They're all a little different. I do like how Top Step and Top One offers Project X. I think that's really easy platform for a lot of people to use. The problem is you're not going to get the deviation bands on it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I would say Top One, Top Step, Tradeify, depending on your ability. You know, Top One's really cool because they have straight to funded where you can make money. You don't have to pass the combine, but that's generally for people who have proven consistency. If you're brand new, I would probably trade some cheaper accounts to start with a prop firm. So like Top One has these pro accounts that are much cheaper. Top Step has a $50 combine you could trade in. Tradeify, very similar. So I'd start there. But those are my top three. Those are the ones I trade on stream pretty much every day. And then my cash account. This is my cash account. John, did you short Russell? Because damn, that was fuego if you did. Look at that. Monthly upper band right there. And then weekly VWAP right below it. Seems like a good place to go long actually now. But you know me, I love to buy weakness. I trade both. I'm trading cash right now, Jody. Nice, Tony. Tony passes 50K Bill Knox account for $15. Jody, I trade the cash and I trade the prop firms. I do both. So I make money in both. You know, I'm a full-time trader, so I have time to sit here and hit profit targets in multiple accounts. Prop firms are an excellent opportunity. I pulled out $19,000 from prop firms. Oh, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Probably going to pull out 19,000. I'm at 16,000, 15,500 of payouts I've received. So that just adds to my profits. I don't know if you can with Project X. So I'll trade Top Step at once, then I'll trade Top One, then I'll trade my cash, kind of all separately. I kind of like it that way. ES is and on the intraday, ES is in price discovery for sure. No doubt about it. Or at least from this distribution. We're at yesterday's point of control. So we're in value from yesterday. Just to confuse you. Thank you, John. I don't share it to brag. I share it, one, to show, one, that it's possible. Second, because if you're going to be learning from me, you want to be learning from somebody who's actually proving they're making money. Even though, you know, in the university system in the United States, there are plenty of professors who make no money in their chosen field, and they make all their money teaching. So it's not all that uncommon. They probably are great teachers. I'm not totally of the belief that I think somebody could still be a great teacher and not be a huge success at it at the same time, I guess. Teaching is a skill in and of itself. Ali, no, I was trading gold earlier. We took a bunch of trades in gold this morning. I've pretty much given up on oil for a while. I haven't had much success with it. I haven't traded Bitcoin in a while. I was trading a lot of Bitcoin earlier in the year. I'll trade some natural gas. I'll trade the Dow or the Russell sometimes, depending. I totally missed the one on Russell today, man. That thing is just bleeding out. That's interesting. So our trader says my gauge to find direction in market, I tend to look at the Russell and then trade the NASDAQ. Gold is still having trouble at VWAP, and this level I marked out. So it's just moving very slow, not very volatile, so kind of hard to trade. NQ continuing to kind of hug lower band here. I do like the 420s for a long. I think I said that earlier on NQ. Now, why do I like 420s for a long? There's a reason. Point of control from yesterday. That's what it was. is this working? My orders aren't working on Trade-A-Bait. It's weird. There we go. Nice little scalp here. My buttons aren't working again. What the heck? That's crazy. I can't have that. Well, it's turning my winner into a bigger winner, so that's good. Beautiful. Well, that put me at 388. Probably would have been a smaller winner had my buttons actually been working. So that was a long fade value or extremes. You know, just had to be a little patient for it to kind of pan out and build some strength, which I saw on the BTS here. And on the cumulative delta, we had a green bar come in. So that's, you know, abnormal buying stepped in. So that gave me the conviction to take the long. But it's a fade value or extreme, waiting for strength to come in. Broke above the VWAP from that volume climax. So a lot of good stuff about that trade. Gold still kind of retreating off my level here. Looks like it might be forming a little bit of a reversal. Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, look at that. Yesterday's high. Also, that's good confluence right there. I didn't see that. That was yesterday's high. Nice calls, our trader. The BTS. This is an indicator I use from Zierman. It's based on like balance volume, and it kind of shows trend breaks. Kind of gives you a little idea of where there's a important level or change in direction based on price. Seems to be really helpful. I've only been using it for a couple of weeks. The guy who designed it has a hedge fund background, really well-known international trader And he has his own line of indicators, so I've been using a couple of them, including the volume climax. So that's when there's a big volume climax. It drops a automatic anchored VWAP from it. Also a really cool tool. I don't think there is. I think it's pretty proprietary.
Should trade
Spartan.
may allow the Fed to consider cuts.
You can, I think he's got a trial. Let's see here. And then you can use it. If you like it, great. If not, let's see. This is it. And by the time the bars appeared, it looks like the move was already happening. Was there a signal on this? I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get in perfectly. You have to kind of get in as the move is happening. You take a piece of it. You're not going to get a perfect entry, Bob. I mean, if you're trading the touch, that's when you get yeah, Carlitos, I hate the cumulative delta on TradingView. It's trash. They aggregate their data. So you're not going to get realistic levels. You can see how much different the cumulative delta is on a real platform like Trade8 with actual CQ data. And this is not cumulative delta. I don't use cumulative delta at all on TradingView. It's not the indicator, it's the data that TradingView has. They have a data issue. It's better as a scalping indicator, I feel like. You can kind of scalp the piece of these moves. The big thing you're looking for, these big candles, is kind of the big thing you're looking for. That shows a significant switch in direction, at least temporarily. Everybody likes a good climax, LJ says. This is true. Ali, I'll use both the 1 minute and the 5 minute. When we're getting like to a level I really want to see, I'll drop to the 1 minute. But for the most part, I'm on the 5 minute. Keeps me patient. This could be the break of this level, and we can see some downside here. Let's see if we get to the 20s that I like. And I got bought up a lot. 40 ticks. I was waiting for lower. I have to be patient. I'd like to see it drop another 20 points from here. But we might not get it. We'll see. Let's see if we get it. Andy, the problem with TradingView is the fact that they're using aggregated data instead of data by order or other ways of sparsing the data so it shows up correctly, the bid-ask exchange data, so that shows up correctly on the cumulative delta, which is aggressors of bid and ask. So the way that TradingView processes data to make it faster for you, and it's still not very fast, so it's weird, it aggregates the data and loses its ability to give you an accurate cumulative delta because of that. Might get lower. You can try shorting these pops as we are now. Well, not great, but we are pretty weak. Thank you, Vegas. The tough thing, Vegas, is it's not a great book for beginners. There's a lot in there that's kind of like for somebody who has a basic background in trading, so she might get lost.
BP talks are in early stages according to the Wall Street Journal.
The book is definitely written for somebody with, basic, not even basic, probably even intermediate trading knowledge. That works. There's also a glossary in the back. Glossary of terms in the back of the book. That might not be enough though. So yeah, have her have ChatGPT or Google up, ready to go. Well, they bought that one up. If we reclaim 7, well, I guess VWAP probably. That could be a big squeeze. Back up to highs, imagine. Could very well happen, guys. This market, I'll tell you what. Yeah, that's also not ideal. Volume delta, still anemic. No real buying going on here. So by now, a couple of you probably have gotten the book. I hope you guys are enjoying it. A couple of you have messaged me about it saying how much they love it. Kind of drills home a lot of points. Hard copy sold out? What?
Of course, Powell is still giving day 2 of his testimony.
I thought they printed on demand.
Comments come through today, but they are really just repeats of comments that he made during his testimony yesterday.
Oh, Canada. That's possible, yeah. Sorry about that. I got a couple of the hardcovers. They're really nice. I'm like super impressed how nice they came out. The paperback's nice, but the hard copy is like, it's gorgeous, man. This will last forever. It's all right. You tell him, JP. How could anyone in this group not read the book? Robin, have you tried the Canadian website for Amazon? I think that's what you might need to do, like that, Amazon.ca. A lot of the traders out there, or traders that, have rooms or teach trading, they can't write a book because they don't have their own trading system. What are they gonna write about? ICT? Lager said I'm bragging. I fancy myself the next Al Brooks, except way younger and better looking.
Says Pam says, in high uncertainty as we are now, I want to take signal from the real data and not be so brave about forecasts.
Not yet. I mean, so if you look at yesterday's value, the problem, and yesterday's value is very important. We're entering yesterday's value. So, we could continue to sell off, but, it might be very slow. We still have point of control from yesterday to get through. I think that's a great place to buy. That's what I've been waiting for. You're going to have lower value, 400. So we're essentially entering yesterday's value area. Okay, thanks, Rob. Yeah, gold. Were you trading gold, Rob, or were you trading indexes? Oh, I didn't even see this. We're also at upper band on the week. A little more of a sell-off, and we'll get right there. This is a very slow and controlled sell-off, which is kind of, you can scalp this both to the short and long side. Yeah, so happy the indicator isn't the problem. It's TradingView's data that's the problem. There are a bunch of indicators, but if you compare them to real cumulative delta on another platform that doesn't aggregate your data, you get a very different results. So like this is on TradingView. If you want to compare your TradingView to TraderVate here, do so. You can kind of see how the difference are, and I'll be right back. Take it one slower. All right, we got about 15 minutes left till noon time. Does anybody have any questions? Well, we're kind of sitting here letting price action do its thing. Looks like gold is breaking out through this level. This could be a good long to IB high. It's at point of control. You can probably grab, 30 ticks long there. Nice big time. What is Tesla doing? Tesla short? Nice. Kind of like a long for return to value, but could very well just go to 28 and retrace. GC Trader asked me if I'm kin to Milburn Drysdale of the Commerce Bank in Beverly Hills. I wish I was. No, I am not. I am akin to the Paul Drysdale of Queens. My father actually was on Wall Street. He was in municipal bonds with, at the time, Smith Barney, Solomon Brothers and Smith Barney when they merged. Bear Stearns before that. And my father retired at the age of 55, selling municipal bonds to institutional investors throughout the 80s and 90s. So he did quite well. My brother also manages a hedge fund. So lots of finance in my family. Oh, Dan said all those screens just to trade demo. Nice. Real nice, Dan. Sound like a real gem. Don't you have anything better to do? They don't want to. They don't want to take the free trial. They want to. They're all about contempt prior to investigation. They're probably losers in life, and they have nothing better to do than to troll the internet. Yeah, I haven't been, Fritz. I haven't been using it as much on the indexes. I do leave it on my when I'm looking at equities, but I've been using the actual cumulative on Trade of 8 for the most part. I also have it right up here on my Ninja Trader screen, so I can see it easily. The YouTube's starting to get a little more traction, so it's probably going to draw some more haters in, I'm sure. Look forward to that. How do you get cumulative delta on Tradebate? So I will show you. So here's Tradebate. You go over to, so if you don't have the order flow, you need the order flow tools, I believe, under indicators, volume base, and then cumulative delta. So indicators, volume based, cumulative delta. If you have a Trade of 8 account, you might need to go in and activate the order flow plus package. Awesome, big time. John says I should ignore the sad trolls. Should I ignore them or should we make fun of them or should, what should I do? Just don't even pay them any attention because that gives them kind of like what they're looking for. I see what you're saying, John. Probably don't even like feed into it at all. Just bump. Hella wants me to make fun. I kind of enjoy making fun too, to be honest. I think it takes the power away from them when I like acknowledge like how stupid what they're saying is. Yeah, I'm getting mixed signals. Everybody says some people are saying, call them out. Some are saying ignore it, don't give them the power. I could see both sides of the argument, quite honestly. Not worth our time, John says. All right, Bob says if you have areas of interest, for example, value area high near VWAP and prices in between, will you try to trade one or wait for it to break to one side, come back and test it, and then look for a continuation? 69, we're talking about the trolls on YouTube. All right, so normally I like to trade level to level, Bob. So, I would like a break and expect to go to the next, maybe a back test, go higher. And you kind of have to see what I like to add a volume profile for some type of guidance on that. So, for example, we have IB low and regular trading hours VWAP IB low, right? So I would expect, I kind of like this more short because we have a low volume node, value area low. So this is kind of like a short zone for me. I would look to try and get short in this block because we have a lot here. And when I create a large block like this, 64 to 75, it's 10 points. It's a 40 tick zone. What I'll do is I'll scale in. So, you know, if my normal position size, say, is 5 micros, I'll add 1, 2, 3, 4 as it goes into this block, and then eventually look for the retracement down and then start peeling them off and profit.
Secretary of State Rubio and G7 ministers discuss corporations on China's actions.
So when they're this close, so upper band and value are high, right? Or are you talking about? I would treat this as like one big zone. Like this. All right, we start trading it above it, long, trading below it, short. Same thing for value IB high and upper band. I would treat that as a zone, not specifically a level. So when they're kind of close, I'll create a zone that I'm watching more so than a specific price level. So this would be my short zone. Unless it breaks above, then I should get out. And I should look to get long above this zone. Now, of course, we can wick above it and reject. We can go above it, back test, or we can just go straight up without ever looking back. Jamaludin Salam says, bro, is that top one future safe? Yeah, I got a payout from them last week. 3,500 bucks. And I'm about to take another one Friday. It's going to be my second payout. We have Kobe in our group who's taken out, what did he take out? 9, 18, $27,000 from top one in payouts. I think you're looking for it too much under a microscope, Bob. I would zoom out a little bit, maybe go to the 5-minute and create a little zone. Because if they're close together and they're trading in between it, that turns into kind of like a coin flip proposition. It's too tight to be able to scalp, probably, effectively. So you kind of want some more directional bias out of it. So I'd wait for a break and hold above or below it to be safe. Old habits definitely die hard. I love to short strength and I love to buy weakness. And it's a terrible habit. Terrible, terrible habit. It's very hard to break. Yep. That could even be in this video here. Well, what's funny is, you know, I didn't block any of those people that said that stuff, and they're already gone. They just popped in the room to shit talk and leave. It's ridiculous. Okay, go for this video. That'll help you with the settings. Yeah, I'm with you, Logger. That's why buying, longing, and shorting levels instead of strength or weakness. You know, But you know, the higher market context is also important in the grand scheme of the trading day. You're welcome. All right, so it's unanimous. I'm going to ignore the trolls. Overwhelming majority says ignore. So that's what I'll do. Just instant block, probably the way. That's what I do on social media. Just instant block. Even better, on Instagram, you can restrict somebody so they can continue posting thinking like they're affecting me, but like I don't see them, nobody sees them, and they're completely wasting their time. They're posting stuff that will not be seen by anybody, and they think they're leaving comments that people are going to see. All right, guys, any other questions? I'm probably going to wrap up here. It's about noontime for me. I'm going to have lunch. I'm going to work on some content, but happy to answer any more questions. Yeah, it was a good session. We had some good trades. Gold, NNQ, still holding lower band on NQ. Good scalp zone if anybody's scalping this. Strong market, kind of bounced off of upper band on the week there. Beautiful. Thanks, guys. Nice, GC Trader. 20 points is a nice day. That's excellent. Good work, guys. You're welcome, Laura. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Hope everybody has a great day. If you're going to continue trading, manage your risk, stay sharp. You can always head on over to the trading lounge. That's in the premium service for anybody who wants to collaborate with the other traders trading the VWAP Wave system. You have access to your microphones. You can share your screens. You can definitely learn something from each other. So if you want to continue with the community aspect of trading, I encourage you guys to head over there and trade together. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we also have group coaching tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hope to see you guys there for group coaching, and have a wonderful day.